Okay. So it's important that you know, there's a couple of things here, and there's a few things which are quite contestable. For those of you that are in my forum online, there's quite a few of these things that are debated. But we need to have a structure and a strategy as far as our understanding is concerned this weekend, and it's important that you know and that you enter hypnosis with the mindset that you cannot be made to do anything that you don't want to do. Okay, it's important that you know that. I tell a story very often about a girl who came to see me in a clinic that I used to own, and she was led in by her boyfriend. Now her boyfriend, if I'm understating it, was huge. You know, he had muscles coming out of everywhere. He was pierced and tattooed all over the place, and he was, you know, a fairly formidable looking guy as he kind of marched into the center. And as he stepped in, he said, "I believe in all this hypnosis mumbo jumbo nonsense." And I said, well, you know, his girlfriend was coming to see me about a phobia, and she was kind of in his shadow a little bit, and I said, well, you know, good job we're not working with you then. You know, you go and sit down and be quiet, please, and then I'm going to go and work with your girlfriend. And he said, no, I'm coming in too. And I said, well, you know, what do you want to come in for? If you've got a phobia, you know, do you want one? And he came in, and he said, well, no, you might make her do stuff she doesn't want to do. You might make her pay more money than she's supposed to. And I said, well, look, first of all, when you walked in here, you said you didn't believe in all this hypnosis mumbo jumbo. So how on earth can you think that I could do such a thing? Second of all, if I could do such a thing, if I would do such a thing, do you honestly think I would have picked you? Do you not think that maybe I would have elected Richard Branson to empty his account into mine? Do you not think that maybe Bill Gates, or at least turn up and see my bank manager and get him to empty his vaults into my swag bag? Thank you very much. Because such a thing cannot happen, okay? With your self-hypnosis as well, as we're going to be learning, especially this afternoon, if you don't believe in the outcome that you want, if you don't believe it's possible, you can't just kind of hypnotize yourself to make that happen. You need to have a belief system in place that's going to propel it forward. There's no kind of, you know, I wasn't born with some gift that when people come and see me, I like Shazam them to do stuff that they don't want to do, because you just can't make people do stuff. And a lot of people get the idea that they can be made to do things by having seen stage hypnotists do a lot of this sort of comedy stuff. Hypnosis, the hypnotic trance state is a little bit like, you know, when you're driving in your car and you're driven for a little period of time and you think to yourself, how did I get here? Where have I been for the last 5 minutes or so? Or, you know, was that a red? And you start, you know, you're kind of doing that thing. Or maybe you've been reading a book and you think, I've got no idea what I just read. You know, I'm going to have to go back and read the words. And I can remember being sat in school, watching my history teacher teach me, but I was a million miles away, wishing I was knee-skidding down the nearest grass verge. But you know, this particular, and these are like trance states, these are exactly what we're working with here. It's a naturally occurring phenomenon that happens all the time when you're daydreaming, when you just imagine something. If I said to you, you know, just imagine what your bedroom was like when you were at school, you start thinking, in that instant, you just dipped into your mind. And that's all that a trance state is. What we're doing with hypnosis is we're going to structure it, control it, give it some depth, and be able to kind of orchestrate it a little bit to use it for our own ends.